Hey guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. And if you guys could share my videos, share my channel with anyone. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can, and I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started with the day today. Today's going to be Wednesday, January 25th. Sorry I didn't make a video yesterday. I got really busy, and by the time I got around to it, the day was already over. We're going to talk about the news that happened yesterday, but the price action for stocks and crypto dropped drastically a little bit due to some technical difficulties in the stock market. We'll briefly touch on that. Crypto dropped and then it's back up on the day today, so it was down about the same price it's up today. So it's up 2.89% today. It was down about the same 2.9% yesterday. So basically, we're where we left off on our last daily market update. The total market cap for all cryptocurrencies today is going to be $1,053,000,000,000. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $23,186. Ethereum is trading at $1,617, and XRP is going to be trading at 41.39 cents. Getting into our biggest gainers on the day today, APT is going to be up 46.1%. Mina is going to be up 27.8%. This new coin threshold is going to be up 25.9%. This coin just entered the top 100 yesterday. If we look at the biggest gainers for the week, Threshold's going to be number one. It's up 199%, and APT is going to be up 151%. I wouldn't touch this coin. Again, no financial advice. Do what you guys want, but this coin is up so much in 1 week already. The people who have been holding this coin are going to be probably looking to take some profits. I probably wouldn't add this coin into my bag personally. I like the coins that I'm already invested in, and I probably won't add any more into my portfolio. Getting started with the news from yesterday, Nancy Pelosi, the Department of Justice, has officially opened up a lawsuit against Google to break up its ad technology monopoly. Pelosi sold $3 million worth of Google just 4 weeks ago. Isn't that wild? So this Twitter profile, Nancy Pelosi stock trader. So this person who created this account follows Nancy Pelosi, all of her trades, because every trade is public record. So they ended up posting the record right here on all of the sales. But it's just crazy to see these politicians using their insider trading. There's no way that she sold $3 million worth of Google stock and then magically 4 months later, boom, Department of Justice files a lawsuit. She had to have known about this. It's just crazy how much money these politicians make. Getting into one of the bills, this one of these politicians, members of Congress and their spouses shouldn't be using their positions to get rich on the stock market. Today, I'm introducing the legislation to ban stock trading and ownership by members of Congress. I call it the Pelosi Act. I think this is really great because a lot of politicians make way too much money outside of the average salary that they get. Most politicians right now, if you're a member of the House or a Senate, you make roughly around $174,000 off the top of my head. It could be just off by a little bit, but not by much. But it just blows my mind how much money these politicians have for their net worth. Some of them make it before they become politicians, and some don't. Looking at Nancy Pelosi's net worth, she's worth $135 million. And you could be like, oh, maybe her husband makes a lot of money. Well, I did some research, and her husband founded the venture capitalist firm Financial Leasing Services. So isn't it just crazy that her husband runs and founded a venture capitalist firm, and she uses her information, probably in bed, says, hey, honey, probably sell some of this or buy some of this because there's going to be some good news coming out. And she says that she doesn't do this, but that's a lie. And she's not the only one to blame. There's a lot. I looked up the members of Congress's net worth. Number one, Rick Scott. He's a Republican from Florida. He's part of the Senate, worth $259 million. Mark Warren, Democrat out of Virginia, 214. Greg Gilforte, Republican, 189.3 million. Paul Mitchell, Republican, 179, and the list goes on and on and on. And Pelosi's down here at 114. Depending on what sources you use, the net worth is just going to be off just by a little bit. People say, in me too, I'm a teacher. Wikipedia is not trustworthy for information. The majority of the time it is, but you can't use it to cite information and sources. But overall, it's pretty well known that you can use this if you're looking for just like common knowledge stuff. People aren't going in here and trying to change anything, and if they do, it gets pretty much traded and changed right back. Um, Getting into some more news, Gary Gensler came out and says, if adopted, our best X rule would help ensure that brokers have policies and procedures in place to uphold one of the most important obligations to seek best execution when trading securities, whether equities, fixed income options, crypto security tokens. Isn't that just crazy how we snuck in security token in crypto? It just blows my mind that he files all of these, completely bogus lawsuits against cryptocurrencies, labels basically all of them as security tokens and other securities is what he's coming out as. But, this is the sneaky language that he plays so then he can use this for his power and rule by enforcement rather than just coming up with some laws and regulatory clarity in the market for cryptocurrency, because not all cryptocurrencies are considered securities. I'll be honest, there probably are in the 22,000 cryptos that are out there. There probably are some that are securities. But if he comes up with some rules and regulations, then you couldn't deem all crypto security tokens. People who are in the crypto industry, a lot of these companies that have coins, would follow the non-securities laws, so they would not be considered securities. They would come up with ways to um, be good members of the market and everything else like that, and not just wait for a lawsuit to get filed against them for basically their coin to get basically just destroyed in price and investors lose all of their money. The SEC is supposed to be there to protect the investors, but obviously, the sneaky language right here shows that it is not. Getting into the market update with Watcher Guru. Getting started, prosecutor sees $50 million worth of Sam Bankman-Fried's account from Farmington State Bank. Again, he just came out. If you guys watched a couple of my videos, I showed a video some guy posted a while ago saying that Sam Bankman-Fried in an interview only had $100,000 to his name. Um, Went from 20 billion to 100,000, and then all of this mysterious money is randomly getting seized. So he definitely played a role and knew about what was going on and tried to funnel the money every which way. And obviously it's catching up with him. So I'm hoping, this all gets figured out and investors get their money back. This was pretty crazy though. Multiple SC stocks have been halted for technical issues. Well, I was reading up on this. There was like a human error. They came out and said they haven't said exactly what caused the human error or what the human error was. But basically, the stocks were trading. It got halted because there was a massive decline and then an uptick in a lot of stocks. And this, basically got a lot of people worried about the stock market. It recovered pretty much right away after. But the stocks got halted, so no one could buy, sell, or trade. And some of the trades that went through prior to the halt were given back to the individuals. They got their money back, and they did not get the stock. Sales got voided, and their buys got voided. We just talked about this right here, though. The U.S. government files antitrust lawsuit against Google, where Nancy Pelosi made a bunch of money. It's ridiculous. This is pretty cool, though. The UK Treasury to hire a CBC head to lead development of a digital pound. On this digital pound, basically, this is the currency of the UK is what a pound is. The US dollar is the treasury, or is the monetary system for the United States, and the pound is for the UK. Basically, they're going to come up with a digital pound. So you're going to be able to have £1 worth of digital currency for the same value of the pound that you have in your wallet. So that's kind of cool to see. Saudi Arabia Central Bank launches its CBDC project experiment. So all these countries are jumping on board. So it's only time is going to time's a factor of what's going to happen with all of these banks going to be using CBDCs and digital currency going to take over the markets. I mean, if you ask anyone who was around before, they went from the regular dollar bills to a credit card and debit card, they would have thought you guys were crazy. There's no way your plastic card can hold all of your money on it, and you can just go and basically put your card in or slide your card, and all of the money would be taken out only of what you were buying for. And then now all you have to do is just touch your card to a system or register, and it just automatically takes your guys' money out. You guys can do it with your guys' phones now. So it's only time in for adoption for digital currencies, in my opinion. Um, Getting into some more news, Visa CEO says the company believes stablecoins and CBDCs can play a meaningful role in the payment space. So you even have the CEO of Visa coming out and saying that this is pretty great. And it's obviously bullish news if you're in the crypto market. If you're not in the crypto market, do your guys' due diligence, research, figure out what cryptos you want to invest in, just like you would do any other stocks. Um, Arizona senator introduces bill to make Bitcoin a legal tender in the state. This is kind of some cool news. I actually live here in Arizona, so this is, basically hits home. It's going to be interesting to see. I currently do not own any Bitcoin. I don't have any desire to own any Bitcoin. I think it's too expensive, but I do like what Bitcoin does. I do like it's considered the gold standard of cryptocurrency. I do think it's, old technology, but it played a huge role, and I definitely see it being around for a while. Goldman Sachs names Bitcoin best performing asset of 2023. I think this is kind of crazy though, because we just started 2023. So coming out and saying that Bitcoin's the best performing asset, it's kind of like, do they know the future? They could have said best asset of 2022. Would that have been true? That's up for debate. But best performing asset of 2023 is kind of crazy to say. Um, and some other news was Facebook and Instagram have reinstated former President Trump's accounts. This is great news, but this is terrible for Meta, which is the parent company that owns Facebook and Instagram under their umbrella. You have freedom of speech, and for a president, sitting president at the time, to have his accounts shut down due to his hateful speech or whatever, these social justice warriors are coming out and saying, you might not like what he has to say. Like, there's a lot of stuff that he said that I'm not a huge fan of, but he has every right to say it. And if he was the president of the United States, he's trying to give out information to the American people and even the world, if the world's paying attention. And to have his accounts basically taken offline for whatever reasons against their privacy policies, I think it was completely ridiculous, because we have never seen anything like that from a sitting president of the United States accounts getting banned. I've never heard of Biden's account getting banned, even though they're coming out with disinformation. Obama's account never got banned, but because a lot of people just didn't like Trump and he was a Republican, they just bashed him enough and basically leveraged Facebook and Instagram to come out and basically ban his account. So this is good news to finally see his account back. Whether he chooses to use this or not, I don't know if he's going to. He has his own social media platform, True Social. So it's just only time's going to tell if he's ever going to use those accounts again, especially after what they did. Um, this is really funny to me. I work as a high school science teacher, but even when I was in my science classes growing up, I always heard about the doomsday clock, and a lot of people don't even know what this is. So basically, this clock is basically if the world were to end, starting at um, 12 o'clock a.m. And then going around, this doomsday clock would basically show up at midnight. The world's going to end. And they basically just came out and said that the doomsday clock moves to 90 seconds before midnight, the closest it has ever been. This was basically founded around the time when we were in the Cold War with Russia, because they were scared of nuclear war. I don't know exactly what caused them to move the doomsday clock. I think it's considered the Russia and Ukraine war. Basically, that's the huge controversy that's going on right now, that they're moving the doomsday clock for. President Biden came out today and talked about how we're sending armored tanks to aid in the defense of Ukraine from Russia. Obviously, this isn't our war to be in. Whether you guys like that, speech or not, it's not our war. We're not at war with Russia. Ukraine is not our ally. They're not a part of NATO. We have no bearing to get in there. And if we kill any Russian soldiers, attack Russia, invade Russia in any way, that's an act of war, and that could start World War III. So I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's just crazy to see that these doomsday clocks are coming out, and it's obviously, you can tell these camera systems are super old. They try to make it look like this is terrible news, but in my opinion, this is just another scandal that they're basically trying to come out with, and it's all for show. James K. Filan came out The case was basically supposed to be just waiting for Judge Torres to make her ruling, but he came out and said that investment banker declarant files a response to Ripple's opposition to the motion by investment banker declarant to shield from public view his name, position, and employer. So this guy, I was trying to read this, is a little confusing, but basically what I got from it was this guy is part of the SEC, worked for the SEC, and used his knowledge as an investment banker to come up with a statement. But he wants his name viewed from the public, his name, position, and employer, who he works for right now, shielded from public. Um, and that's kind of just hilarious to me. He voluntarily came forward and gave this information. So for him to now try to shield his name, position, and employer is kind of like a slap in the face. Basically, I say that, the company did this, they're terrible, but don't use my name. So it's basically like John Doe basically came out and said this. So we don't know who he is yet. So when this case officially gets figured out and, the judge rules on this motion, we'll wait and see what happens. Um, I thought this was kind of cool. So Jeremy Hogan, he's the lawyer that's been doing videos, basically turns what James K. Filan does into just uh, user-friendly knowledge YouTube videos. So basically, James K. Filan comes out and speaks at a college level, and then Jeremy Hogan can explain all of this stuff to an elementary school kid. So it's really kid-friendly language, and I like this a lot. If you guys can and you guys are interested, go watch a lot of his videos. But this guy Irish Tiger came out and said that he's asked for clarification on how XRP is a global bridge currency and how does it work with the future of 180 sovereign CBDCs. Jeremy Hogan comes out and says the XRP ledger could interact with CBDCs in a few different ways. One possibility is that the CBDC, central bank digital currency, for those of you guys that are new, could be issued on top of the XRPL, which is the XRP ledger, as an IOU represented by a specific token. This would allow for the CBDC to take advantage of the XRP ledger's fast, efficient settlement times. Another possibility is that the CBDC central bank could open a gateway on the XRPL that allows users to deposit it and withdraw the CBDC. This would allow for the CBDC to be used in conjunction with XRP and other digital assets on the XRP ledger. It could also be a possibility that the CBDCs will be pegged to XRP and interact with the XRP ledger as a stable coin, which would allow for fast, cheap, and efficient cross-border transactions. Because basically, if you wanted to send money to a friend, let's say in Dubai, for whatever reason, you want to send them $1 million, it would cost you less than a penny to send that much money, or $1 to send that much money. But if you use the technology that we have right now, you're paying anywhere from 5 to 12% to send that money. And it also takes a lot of time. It could take up to 5 days for that money to be sent. But you could send the message plus the money using the XRP ledger in less than 30 seconds, plus the fees for that would be, again, between a penny and $1. So the fees are just nowhere near what they are in today's in previous technology to today's technology, which would be the XRP ledger. But he says, of course, I personally have no clue. I'm a stupid lawyer, but this is what Chat AI says. So we've been talking about Chat AI. If you guys want to know what that is, go to some previous videos. This was some bullish news for Quant out of the blocks. The CEO of Quant basically talked about a few different things for cryptocurrency. He came out with four things to look out for in cryptocurrency this year, in his opinion. He says that there will be an agreement that the unregulated crypto experiment has failed. He comes out and explains all of this. Banks and asset managers will scramble to recruit blockchain specialists. CBDCs will be politicized, but will ultimately prevail. And then the last thing that he thinks is the links between chains will be strengthened, improving trust. And this is what Quant does. It links all of the networks. This is why I like Quant. But I'm going to go ahead and link this in all of the articles that I posted and talked about in the video into the comments. So if you want to do a deeper dive, I try to give you guys just the news, and then I go into detail on the things that I find important. But if you guys want to get into the nitty gritty of things, again, I tell you guys to do your guys' own research. Those will be in the comments for you guys to look into. And I thought this was really cool. If you guys have HBAR or Hedera Hashgraph, There's an update on Ledger staking and the HTS support. Hedera and Ledger are working together to add support needed for HTS tokens and navigate staking functions on Ledger. The works on Hedera's side is completed. Ledger estimates 6 weeks to review the changes for compatibility and security, and 7 to 8 weeks from now until it is live. We'll keep you guys updated with further developments. We know it's a massively requested feature. Hashback is ready to go once the changes are finished. So, in my opinion, this is great news, especially if you guys don't own a Ledger. This is a cold storage wallet. So basically, it's not connected to the internet. So it's nearly impossible. And again, I can't say impossible. The company doesn't say it's impossible, but it's nearly impossible to steal somebody's cryptocurrency from a ledger, because it's not connected to the internet. They would need to have your device. They would need to have your keys. They would need to have your keywords that you put in, your username and password. There's just so many news and information that they would have to have for them to hack your guys' wallets. I currently own Ledger, so if you guys are really interested in getting a Ledger, if you guys have more than, let's say, a couple $100 in cryptocurrency, I would definitely think about securing your investments into a Ledger, because if you guys have it on an exchange like Coinbase or Binance, if those exchanges ever become insolvent or come up with some sort of lawsuit, or both, like FTX exchange, it can go bankrupt and you basically lose all of your money and investments that are on there. They can freeze your accounts and they can use basically your account funding to support whatever lawsuits that they have, or to try to rejuvenate their exchange. So in my opinion, I would highly recommend getting this. There's no promo code. I'm not promoted by anyone yet. I would like to be at some point, but as of right now, I'm just your average Joe that comes on here and just gives you guys news, and I do appreciate that. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. If you guys can't invest with the big dog, stay on the porch. Have a good one.